Hey everybody, welcome back to another RSG, not a live stream, but we got the news for Jedi Training Rey, and we are going to be breaking it down for you. So we've got the whole cast here, Dr. Finn Medicine Woman, Lightsaber Builder Loki, and the Brown Gandalf Wi-Fi government stealer himself, who's on the run but has decided to hide out in the woods and try to, he got out of prison and he is here to look at this new kit for Jedi Rey. We knew she was coming yesterday. We talked about on the stream what would be required to get her. Now we're going to look and break down everything that she has and give you our thoughts on this. So, Mr. Grande.
We missed you last night.
Yeah.
I know. I was under the weather. What happens when you get food poisoning?
Yeah. Stop eating poo.
Okay, so reading through this kit, right? That's what we're kind of doing here.
We got the poster from Cozy Spoon, and we'll start from the top and just work our way down.
All right, so here we go. So we have Jedi Rey. We have Rey Jedi Training Light Side Resistance Tank. Resilient resistance tank who avenges debuffed allies and controls the battlefield. Ability 1. This is her basic.
Wait, before we even get into that, I know Loki has an issue with the first part.
Resistance and a tank? So does the resistance even need another tank? Last time I checked,
she's already a Jedi in training and doesn't have the Jedi tag.
Agreed. Jedi training, no Jedi tag.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's, I don't know. It's pretty crappy, but whatever.
Okay, basic connected strikes. Deal physical damage to the target enemy. Damage is increased by 25% for each of the following. Rey has no debuffs. Rey has any buffs. The target has no buffs. The target has any debuffs. Boy, that's a mouthful.
So you can get up to 100%. Could you get 25 for each of those?
Okay. So, Special 1, Defiance Smash. Deal physical damage to the target enemy and inflict healing immunity for 2 turns. This effect cannot be copied, dispelled, or resisted. Target other resistance ally and dispel all their buffs. Call them to assist and grant them foresight for 2 turns. This is on a 5-turn cooldown.
Hi, never
Thoughts?
What are you ordering?
Ronnie, I guess he wants to get some of that good food he had the other day so he can get more food poisoning.
All right, I'm all done now. She's gone.
So this
only on RSG can you get Vanessa that comes by and delivers you food. Okay, that only happens here.
Everybody wants to be on our streams.
Everybody, even Vanessa, she's my car hop from today, wants to be on the stream. Okay, so let's go over this ability, the smash one. What do we think?
It seems like a cop out to me.
Yeah.
It is 100% to me a cop out. We're going to go through the rest of the kit. The rest of the kit is really underwhelming, and this whole ability with the undispellable healing immunity seems nothing more than a way to try and make Rey useful by getting rid of GK's errors. I don't see any other purpose for it.
Or go up against teams that have multiple healers, right? Like,
I mean, right now there really isn't anything else. It's all people just complain about Barriss being a healer, so they introduce this character, and everything else is still valid. CLS is still going to wreck her.
Yeah. So basically,
Braun is still going to wreck her.
So basically, this character is going to it kind of borks CLS and his healing immunity. It kind of borks OG Han and his healing a little bit, and it kind of borks Xeris, right? And it kind of borks Night Sisters and the fact that they have a bunch of healing, right?
Well, a little. It's not going to do anything to CLS because CLS is going to end up putting stuff. Is R2? We don't have all the stats yet. I seriously doubt Rey is going to be faster than R2, which means R2 is going to go first and put a stealth on everybody. And once the stealth is up, OG Han is behind it. CLS is going to be behind it. The only one that's not is going to be GK. And so GK is going to end up getting that from Rey, and it's not going to really matter because there's no Xeris on that team.
Okay, so second special. Mind Trick. Dispel all buffs on target enemy and inflict ability block, daze offense down, and speed down for 2 turns. For each buff inflicted, remove 10% turn meter, which can't be resisted. For each debuff resisted, remove 20% turn meter, which can't be resisted. For each active resistance ally, gain 15% turn meter. This attack cannot be evaded. 5 turn cooldown.
It's a pretty nice ability. I have to say that one's pretty nice.
Pretty nice. 5 turn friggin' cooldown.
Yeah, that's the other thing. So you have to be very strategic with the use of it. But when it hits, it can mess up a team. Because it's like, you put all that stuff on, she's getting turn meter. I mean, you're on a resistance team anyway. It's like, woo, more turn meter.
Well, you don't really have to, do you? You put her behind a Finn lead.
Oh, yeah.
And Finn lead is whenever an ally loses foresight, they'll gain the advantage, which is 1. But then whenever an enemy takes damage from exposed, all resistance reduce their cooldown by 1. So even though it's like a 5-turn cooldown and you're like a Zeta Finn lead, she's going to
speeding up. Resistance is going to be speeding up her abilities, especially with the Finn lead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, leader ability, inspirational presence, including Zeta upgrades. Resistance allies have 30% crit chance, 30% crit damage. When they score a critical hit, they have a 70% chance to inflict expose for 2 turns. This effect cannot be resisted. Resistance allies gain 10% turn meter when an enemy is exposed. When resistance ally uses a special ability, all exposed enemies lose 5% turn meter. This effect cannot be resisted. If a resistance ally has no debuffs, reduce their cooldowns by 1. Zeta. When the resistance ally uses a special ability, all exposed enemies reduce. When resistance allies use a special ability, all exposed enemies lose 5% turn meter. This effect cannot be resisted when a resistance ally uses a special ability. If they aren't debuffed, reduce their cooldowns by 1.
All right, so this ability compared to Finn's Zeta, what do we think?
Not as good.
No, I don't like it either.
This is going to die to Talzin. Night Sisters are going to destroy any Zeta Jedi Rey lead.
Yeah.
They're all going to have debuffs, and no one's going to reduce
It's a good lead
cooldown.
ability, don't get me wrong, but compared to what I think Finn has,
Yeah, well, turn meter reduction's never been like meta. It's always been turn meter gain, right? So
yeah.
Right.
It sounds like a backwards leader to Finn, where Finn gives you a bunch of turn meter. What do they gain? Like, how much turn meter does Finn give them when they hit somebody? It's a lot, right?
Yeah.
15.
Yeah, and they have their abilities, their cooldowns reduce,
right?
No problem out the gate. So this thing has a bunch of penalties for both sides, right? Where the resistance ally can't have any debuffs. And that's the only way their cooldowns are reduced by 1, which is kind of sad because...
You're not getting that in the current meta.
Nope. That's not current meta.
Darth Nihilus, R2, Night Sisters, they're all going to just screw that up completely.
Yeah, and Plague is locked, right? If you're going up against Night Sisters, so all your resistance allies are going to have debuffs when they start doing this, and they're never going to have their cooldowns reduced, so...
It's not going to work.
It's kind of a step back. Yeah, it's kind of like a step back, I think. I mean, who knows? I mean, shoot. Maybe it'll work, but...
Unique. You ready to talk about the unique?
Yeah.
Virtuous Protector? We'll just read it with the Zeta. When another ally suffers a debuff or wins resistance, or when a resistance ally gains secret intel, Rey gains 8% turn meter. When Rey suffers a debuff, she has a 40% chance to dispel all debuffs on her.
I like this one. This, I think, would be the... We're looking at everything. We still have another one to go, but this one's pretty tasty.
Yeah, but that means you have to have Rey with BB-8.
Yeah, I would...
But I like that.
Yeah.
I like the little combo things that they do.
Yeah. But
Unique
it's not
number
just...
2, Insight. At the start of each encounter, Rey gains foresight until she evades. Rey recovers 5% health and 5% protection when she evades. At the end of Rey's turn, she gains foresight until she evades. If Rey has foresight, she gains crit damage up until she is damaged. If Rey has crit damage up, she gains offense up until she is damaged.
I mean, this is basically, to me, it seems like it's copying Ahsoka's unique a little bit.
It does copy regular Ahsoka's about the crit chance, crit damage and speed, or whatever it is. I think it's like speed and it's like speed.
But once you damage her, you don't even have to crit her. Once you damage her, she starts losing all of that.
Yep.
She gains. So the interesting thing here, at least with her, is she gains foresight at the end of each of her turns, and then every time she evades, which is what happens when you attack somebody with foresight, then she'll gain back 5% health, 5% protection. So when you're facing like a Mother Talzin team, if you're facing Night Sisters, she might be able to wipe off the plagues from herself because she'll evade, heal up 5%, and then maybe drop the plague. But the rest of the resistance are still going to be filled with it, and then she'll just get it again.
Yeah, Night Sisters with. I don't see how this breaks Night Sisters. I don't see how this breaks CLS.
No,
it doesn't.
I mean,
and if it wasn't for that one special, it wouldn't break GK Zeris either.
All this does is remove GK Zeris from the meta, which we really didn't need to remove GK Zeris from the meta. I mean, that team that's like a 1 in 10, top 50 team. That's not 75% of the meta. Maybe I'm wrong here.
I hope I'm wrong. I mean, okay, so this unique insight, I mean, it just sounds like a neutered, because Night Sister Spirit has this where she gains foresight over and over again, and it doesn't work. So, and Night Sister Spirit actually gets 100% offense when she has foresight, which still doesn't work well. So, I don't see what the crit damage up and all that stuff is going to do, especially for a tank. So,
well, part of the problem too is that foresight by itself is broken, because if you have foresight but you're stunned, foresight doesn't work. If you have foresight, some characters can issue damage which can't be evaded, which means it works. It goes through foresight, like OG Han.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Maybe it'll work, but I mean, we have a bunch of characters that do this kind of mechanic. This isn't a unique mechanic. I think that's where I'm disenchanted with Rey right now, is because she doesn't have a unique mechanic like a legendary character, right? All this stuff seems like it's recycled.
Non-dispellable health immunity.
But it's only for 2 turns. It's sad.
Even against the GK Zeris, you can get over this by just using Thrawn in order to give GK turn meter, and he's already gone through 1 turn. Exactly. And you can just bring him back again. Like, there's ways around it even with GK Zeris.
Well, I thought Bear's Offie's heal hit no matter what debuff was on the character.
Well, no, that's the equalized. So all you'll do is, if he's down on health, you can still equalize it and improve his health.
Right.
But he won't actually gain that additional ability from the heal.
Yeah. But, again, GK Zeris can survive for 2 turns. You know what I mean? So it's not like you're locking the healing immunity in, which would have been nice, but...
Yeah, if you had non-dispellable healing immunity that lasted until the end of the encounter, damn, right? That would be badass, right?
That would be broken too.
It would be broken.
Well, I mean, even if you made it for 3 turns, right, or 4 turns, we have debuffs that last 4 turns, right? I mean, that's not new,
but not non-dispellable debuffs.
Yeah, but I mean, you got plague, right? So it spreads. It was.
But plague has a condition that you can get rid of. So as soon as you hit full health, then it goes away. So they all have a condition where you can remove it, and you can get rid of it even in 1 turn if you wanted.
Right. No, I agree. It's probably OP, but I'm kind of reaching for that one unique mechanic, right? I mean, Thrawn's got fracture. Emperor Palpatine's got shock, Mother Talzin's got plague, Rey don't have nothing, so it's kind of sad.
The other thing too
Rey
is
don't have nothing. I mean, Rey is literally a borked character. I mean, this is not arena meta. This is going to work. This is going to work sort of good on offense, but it's not going to work well on defense because they're going to put the healing immunity on the wrong guy, right? I mean, I don't see how this works on defense, and I don't see how this combats CLS, how this combats Night Sisters, how this combats Thrawn.
Yeah, even Nihilus. Nihilus can still annihilate her, so it's not a big deal.
I mean, yeah, I don't even see. I mean, this character seems weaker than Nihilus. I mean, this character seems weaker than Night Sister Zombie.
Sadly, I agree with you.
Jedi training in Rey is weaker than Zombie.
I mean, the BB-8 synergy is a nice one. So she can attack. She'll call an assist from BB-8. BB-8 then has, because you'll be attacking out of turn, can get somebody else to attack. So you can potentially get 3 different people attacking at once. I don't see how she's a tank. Everything about her sounds like a support character.
She's kind of
Are you guys
support
seeing anything that's
attack
tank?
hybrid.
Yeah, she's a
She's
support.
kind of like Gar Saxon 2.0, man. You know?
Now, the question I have is, we're thinking about Resistance as, of course they mentioned BB and R2, but do you think any of the new Resistance characters that they'll be introducing, like newer versions of Poe or Finn or anything, may make what her leader is now for the future something that will be more viable with the newer characters being introduced for the Resistance?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think you're making a great point, Ranger, which is, okay, you look at Resistance, we now have, 7, 8 characters, including her on the Resistance team. If you include R2, which means we need another 2 or 3 Resistance characters, another 2, and then it's the same thing with First Order, right? First Order needs another 2 or 3 characters to make a second viable team. So you're running a Resistance team that's like all the first gen guys, basically. First generation Poe, first generation Finn, first generation Resistance trooper, Resistance pilot. Maybe you say, okay, well, we'll throw regular old Rey on there, and then you bring BB-8, whatever we're calling her, in training, potty training Rey. So let's bring potty training Rey.
I was gonna call her training bra Rey. That's what I was gonna call her.
I like potty training, just so you say it, because I like potty training. It's gotta be.
And Grande's on the toilet 4 times a day, so it all makes sense.
That's right.
I'm on the toilet 4 times a day. It's potty training Rey. So and you know why we have to bring potty training Rey? You know why? It's because if she's with her little buddy BB-8, she'll get that poop emoji above her head.
Right.
Damn straight.
That's why it's potty training Rey. So we bring potty training Rey and under BB-8 with the poop emoji and three new Resistance characters, probably sleeping in a space shuttle, Finn and whoever else comes up, and we put them all in a group, and now we have a 4th generation version of characters that are all Resistance.
Well, all right, so let's finish this off by our overall, if you were going to give her a score based off your initial assessment and everything, we'll go around the corn, as Grande would say. We'll start with you, Grande. What grade do you give her? A being the highest, F being the worst.
Potty training Rey gets a C right now, in my opinion.
Okay. Dr. Finn Medicine Woman.
If in a vacuum, I would give her a C+, but the fact that this is a legendary character, I put her at a D.
Oh, Finn goes D, just passing. The lightsaber builder himself, Loki, what do you think?
I'm going to have to agree with Finn. I'm going to go with a D right now, and that's simply because the amount of effort and the amount of time and the amount of resources you need to get her, like you need a full First Order, you need 2 veterans, none of which are like arena meta in my opinion.
No.
And outside of any of the special events, First Order is just not viable. and that's really what I'm going with, because we were all rooting for her kit to be at least worth the time that you put in and the resources to get 6 tunes or 7 tunes, right, or whatever it is. I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, but again, we mentioned it last night in the stream that the Resistance just don't have enough pieces to put around her, whereas CLS has, 20 rebels to put around him, right? You can make a team. So I'm gonna say D.
All right, and I will go C plus, mainly because all the points that were made previously are very valid. However, I think we need to wait, see if I'll raise the grade based off what new characters on the Resistance side get added and stuff, to see if that has any effect of what she will bring to the table. But as she stands now, very underwhelming. As a legendary character that we've seen all the other legendary characters be very viable, very, very amazing. And this one, I mean, it's good, but it's also, for a legendary, as Loki said, it's underwhelming. And I think they're missing the mark on this, on some things. Of course, we don't know the limitations about what they can and cannot do with the movies and everything. But, I mean, still, there's some good things here, but there's a lot of things that are like, what? What?
I don't want her to be another Grandmaster Yoda, man.
I know. That's the thing. I don't think
that's what we got, guys.
Yeah,
we got
did.
Grandmaster Yoda.
God.
She's in that realm of all the legendary characters. If you look at them, I mean, she's kind of in that. Yeah,
and I made that mistake. I said legendary character. She's even harder than a legendary character. She's a journey character.
Yeah,
I'm going to change mine to a D minus.
Damn! Damn!
You can't put this much effort into a character whose skill is just like a C level in a vacuum, anyways. And then this much needed to get her. This is awful.
At least it didn't require everybody to get a 7-star Millennium Falcon to get her.
You imagine if it had
fine. I'm back to a D.
Okay, back to a D. Okay. All right. Any last
parting words? If they required Millennium Falcon and this is the kit, oh my gosh.
Oh.
That would have been awful.
But I mean,
that would have been worth at least 3 Chewie shards to everybody in the game.
Yeah, I don't think she may have some uses in arena. I mean, she'll be fine for territory battles and other things. I mean, she'll be really helpful, but
really?
I mean, yeah, I'm sure in PvE she'll be fine.
She's light side, bro.
She'll show up in the platoons.
For a dark side character, man.
She'll be in your platoons. Don't worry, Grande.
Don't you worry, Grande. She'll be there, buddy.
Yeah, you'll be able to platoon her ass. Awesome.
Well, I mean, but again, we have to see what the other new Resistance tunes are going to be coming out. So I'm going to leave it at mine as still C+ until they release the other characters, because there might be a synergy that will make you go, aha, oh, well, hello there, so we get an overall feel, but just based off where she is, just as a character herself, I can't go above a C on any score. It's
she don't get it. She don't get it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done.
All right, so this is RSG with our initial thoughts of Miss Rey Jedi training. Don't get
potty training Rey.
Potty training Rey, as Grande likes to call her. So, all right. So, guys, once you see this video, tell us what you three think. Give us the comments below. Write what you think about Rey. Of course, always keep it civil, but give us your overall thoughts and impersonations, good or bad. There might be some people that are out there, these are just our opinions. It doesn't necessarily make us right. But, give us what your thoughts of everything we discussed in here. And, of course, give us a thumbs up for the video and, like and subscribe. And if you subscribe, you can get more access to when we put out videos and stuff like that anyway. So, on behalf of myself, Dr. Finn Medicine Woman, the Lightsaber Builder Extraordinaire Loki, and Brown Gandalf, Angry Brown Gandalf today, suffering from food poisoning, Grande Petroni. Thank you all from the RSG crew, and we will holler at you guys later.